Pretty good. Pretty good. You guys were all out drinking last night.
And we just learned how to play the instruments yesterday.
That's fantastic. You guys do good work, let me tell you. Okay, good morning, everyone. Is there anybody here from another Unity? Raise your hand, because we have a good, oh, there you are. Okay, and what Unity are you from? Unity of Kansas City North, okay. That's great to have you with us. All right. As Kansas City North, have you got, is marijuana legal there?
We're voting in November.
You're voting in November, but you're here and you can have all the marijuana you want. So enjoy yourselves while you're here. Okay. I guess you guys get down to the village, Unity Village a lot, right? Good. Okay. Is there anybody here for the first time? Leave your hand up. We have a great gift for you. Yeah, put your hand way up. Yes. All right, here she comes. She's bringing it down. All right, come on down here. All right. In the bottom of that bag are the keys to a new Lexus. Okay. All right, there you go. All right. No, okay. All right. It's great having you here today, and it's great that you are involved with Unity, because Unity is an open-minded, open-hearted way to live. And if we follow that way and we are true to it, we will know the right and wrong of things as they occur. And that's going to be necessary for us, really necessary for us, as these certain things taking place in the world are happening. We, because we're in unity, open-hearted, open-minded, will be able to see the truth of it or the error of it, and we will not be sucked in, drawn in, and brought into the limitations that certain elements in the world want to foist on the human race. And if you think this week, last week something took place to foist something on the free-thinking spiritual beings of Earth. You're going to love Syntysche's talk. It's not as heavy or as what I just said. You're going to love it because she always gives beautiful spiritual truth.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. Band, you guys are awesome. Don't listen to a word that maniac says. I don't even know who that is or how he got a microphone. He just seems to show up here sometimes. My name's Mike Shadle. I'm the administrator here at Unity of Boulder. I deal with rentals and anything else that goes on in this building. So if you ever have any events or anything, parties, concerts you want to put on, classes you'd like to teach, please call the office, ask for Mike, and I can set you up with a great space. We rent every space in this building, including this room. So the sky's the limit, so let me know if you would like to put on any events here. I've got a few announcements of events that are coming up. Our choir our holiday choir has officially started, and you can join anytime. We'd love to have anyone join, whether you have been singing your whole life or just would like to give it a try for the first time. Everyone is welcome and invited. It's led by Norma. She will find the right spot in the choir for anyone. We would love to get some male voices, so if any men would like to join the choir, please, all you have to do is show up on Thursdays at 6:30 for practice. You don't have to sign up or anything. Check it out. Just come try it once. See if you like it. You'll get to meet a whole bunch of other Unity members. It's a great way to join the Unity community, and it's awesome to be on this stage on our big shows at Christmas and Easter. So please just come on in and join us for that. Norma is also going to be leading her annual Samhain celebration. That's the thing in your handout. It looks like it's spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. And this is the annual celebration of remembrance of those of our friends and loved ones who have passed on and crossed over. And this is the time of year when the veil between that world and this world is at its thinnest. So you show up with something to remember them by, and then we burn it and send it on its way to send messages. So that is October 31st on Halloween from I've got the wrong time. Oh no, it's at 7 p.m. It's inside in Fellowship Hall. So you don't have to sign up for it, you just show on up. Also, we are making a change so we live stream everything we do here, and then it goes into an archive that up until now you've been able to see everything we've done forever. We're changing that. Everything, when we live stream something now, it's only going to be up on YouTube and on our website for 48 hours. So if you need a copy of something, please let us know, but we're making some changes to that whole system. So just be aware that if you go on looking for, say, a service from 2 weeks ago, it's not there, and we are aware of that, and it's on purpose. So that is a change. So I didn't expect a big round of applause for that. And finally, today, at 5 o'clock, from 5 to 7, we are having our children's Halloween party here. Well, it's in Fellowship Hall, it's in the downstairs, it's pretty much in the whole building. All children are invited to come. It's free, it is a costume party. We're putting on all kinds of games, scavenger hunts. There'll be food and pizza and candy. So much fun. And then the piece de resistance, the final pieces at in our assembly room downstairs, our YOU, that's our high school age congregation. They have stayed up all night putting together their amazing, terrifying haunted house downstairs. It gets better and better every year. So if you have kids or you have a friend who has kids and they're looking for something to take their kids to do for free that's super fun tonight, please toss them in a costume and bring them on in at 5 o'clock tonight. All right, and now I would like to welcome out our musical guest today. We'd like to welcome back Miss Marcy Baruch. It's always nice to have you on our stage, Marcy. So take it away.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Take a breath with me in any way that feels good. Welcome to this time and place and this sacred moment of love unfolding that we all get to be a part of. I'd like to open with this first song, Let Go, Let God. There's a chant in the middle of this. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Say that with me. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. It's chanted in many forms of Buddhism, and it's a principle that those who live earnestly and make consistent efforts will win over all obstacles and live fulfilling, happy lives. Another writer wrote, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is thus a vow, an expression of determination to embrace and manifest our Buddha nature. It is a pledge to oneself to never yield to difficulties and to win. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Over one's suffering, through one's suffering. Stay the course, stay the course. At the same time, it is a vow to help others reveal this law in their own lives and achieve real happiness. When we get to that part in the song, I'll sing it the first time, and then the second and the third times, please join me as you feel moved, okay? All right. When you can't find your direction and your heart won't guide you home, let go and let God. When your dreams are broken in the dust, you've lost the will to trust, let go and let God. The signs remind you we are passing. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. 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 Beautiful way to start our service today. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. It's a beautiful prayer to hold when you're starting a meditation and you might be facing challenges financially or challenges in your relationship, and you hold the image of your partner or your child that's stressing you out, or financial situations, just seeing the numbers growing in your bank account and just saying that prayer, which is just overcoming the obstacles in your way. It's a powerful prayer. It super changed a few people's lives that I've known, one being one of my brothers. So today my talk title is Sometimes Being Still is the Most Productive Thing You Can Do. And in a busy world where we're always being told to do better, get things done, it's this fast-paced world where we're always trying to keep up. We're doing a lot of human doing versus human being. And if we are meditating every day, we might be more in sync with what rhythm keeps us in a healthy order in life, right? So I put on some music right now that's going to play through my sermon today just to help us to stay in this calm, focused place, and it's called Brown Noise. It's something I play around myself a lot with teenagers and work and all the things that are asking me to show up in life too, and I can find myself overwhelmed. But what brown noise does is it helps with relaxation. So this is a brown noise album that has actually some music involved in it too. It improves focus and being more present in our lives, and it also improves sleep. So if you listen to it before you go to sleep and turn that TV off or any digital anything that's kind of over frequencing our brain, to get into that quiet place before you go to bed. And I did that last night and had a really beautiful dream of a friend of mine who passed away about 1.5 years ago. And my friend Maya, actually it will be 2 years on the winter solstice. And we've been friends since we were 4 years old. And she visited me last night, and I was driving, and she was sitting in the back seat talking to me. So I didn't really get a vision of her. I had kind of a shadow of like a cloud sitting in the back seat. And the essence of what she was sharing with me was basically, you can only do what you really can truly do. Like, you can only do what you can do. Like, calm down. Like, my life is a little bit, pressured right now. And she sang a song that I'd forgotten that she'd written. And it's just, when I woke up, I had such a sense of connection to the other side, the other realms. And if you know anything about this phase or this time of year, the veil between the spirit realm and the earth realm becomes much thinner right now through October 31st. Many cultures celebrate that. And so being open to messages from our ancestors or our close soul friends, or people that have preceded us before we were ready to let them go, we can have really deep, beautiful communication with them at this time. And I was reminded of that. But in talking to people this week, I've heard a consistent feeling of people feeling an urge for something new to enter their lives. I've heard that a few times this week. And they've been feeling recently that there's a lot of things going on in their experience that no longer bring some peace or passion to their life. And there's an unsettled energy in the midst of them, and they're wondering why all of a sudden there's
there's this kind of heightened stress. And I'm going to speak to that today a little bit, because this can be a sign that something new is beginning to be birthed within yourself. And when you work in the spiritual work, especially as in nature, it's why I have all nature stuff happening behind me, the cycles of life. So when we think of fall, and you think of the leaves are starting to fall off the trees, right? It's a falling away into a quieter time, right? So last fall, the leaves fell off and we internalized, and we probably focused and rebirthed or birthed something new into our experience through those dark winter months. And then the spring births it into existence, and then we live it so fully through the summer. And we have these wonderful high experiences from what we had planted in seed as things were falling away in the fall. So when we realize that there's an outer experience with nature, with our own selves, because we are energy and we're connected to all of it, right? So as these leaves are falling away, so are parts of ourselves that no longer serve us, no longer have a need to be driving a type of stress or relationships that might not be working for us, or employer situations where we can change the energy that's taking our peace away from us. See, when the seasons change, as one of the cycles of life, it brings with it its own energies that whispers change in everything that operates around us. Rumi would say, at this point, don't open the door to the study and begin reading, he says. Take down the dulcimer. This is Rumi's prescription for dropping the complicated burdens we haul around and the despair we so often feel. He would say, go outside today, be as close as you can to the dirt, or sit on the forest floor and scratch the matted leaves with a stick, uncovering the miraculous process of dying life turning into living earth. I was just talking to somebody outside, and she's like, we were playing in the river, and we were turning over the leaves, and I was like, I'm kind of talking about that today. Just imagining yourself doing this will evoke a feeling in your heart as you witness yourself sitting on the earth. Even if you can't get yourself into a situation where you're sitting on the earth, to visualize yourself being a part of the cycles of life and moving with the flow at that level. Look how long this fall has been. We've had a long time to percolate and contemplate these leaves before they've started falling off. And so maybe there's a deeper and deeper understanding that is needed for our spiritual evolvement. And has it ever been so beautiful in the fall in Colorado? I don't think I've ever remember a fall that's lasted this long. Usually the winds have taken the leaves away by now, but we got to sit and percolate with the change of the seasons and allowed it to be in and through our beings, whether we knew it or not. So we have to figure out how we can let the beauty we love be what we do. How do we let the beauty we love be what we do? Rumi also wrote that. So the guidance comes from within, right? My visitation with Maya last night is absolutely an answer to one of my prayers, or just one of my questions of how can I go forth in my life from my meditation and keep my meditation in all that I do, in all that I love. My work is my love. My children are my love. My life is filled with love, but it has the ups and downs of homework and teenagers with girlfriends you don't necessarily love. I love her, but I don't necessarily like her. Just the normal human stuff that can unsettle your world and fill you with worry and turbulence, and this is like another time to grow and deepen our relationship with Spirit. And know that Spirit has it all taken care of before we even ask. And having faith in that, right? Spirit moves first, then the body follows. And then we have to trust our inner guidance to follow that, right? So we have to move out of the ego, go into the deepest dimension of our soul, and find what is needed to fall away at this time. It might just be a past story that has been holding you limited and worried or just unhealed. It could be worrying about the future and what is next. You might be stepping into a new phase of life, a new career, and that's all very exciting, but it also brings up, the not knowing, the unknown, and having to have faith in that journey, right? So this is a time of change, and I think the Bible really says it in a way, but this is obviously metaphysically, I'm going to share this Bible quote. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for the sake of his name. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. And obviously this is a metaphorical death. It's a closing and a closure of a part of us that no longer serves. And it's actually quite exciting if we trust and have faith in this greater something that's leading us through that valley, right? Because it's that metaphorical death happens every year. We all go through this every year, and for some it'll be very slight and you might not even notice it. And for some it might just be so turbulent and you're going, oh my gosh, so much is falling away. How can I stay in the current of peace and flow where God is divinely guiding me to be? Sometimes devotional statements of God that is outside of us, preparing a table before us, feels really good. When you're like really kind of, I kind of want the God outside. I mean, it's just going to kind of fix it all. Versus the unity principle, which we know God is within us. It's a Christ consciousness that we grow through our deepening and rooted system as we open up more and more to the soul's knowing and living from the heart first, right? But every once in a while we need that devotional feeling. It's like, I am creating a place for you, that your good isn't leaving you, that your good is on the way. It's in the midst of you. These things cannot even be born and birthed into your life until these things can get out of the way and make room for this gorgeousness, this next phase, this next beauty. In a book called Surrender to God Within by Eva Pericos and Donovan Thessenga, it talks about this conflict. Here is truly a kind of life and death conflict. This conflict manifests differently in each individual, but one thing can be said with certainty: the greater the conflict between giving in to the cosmic force and opposing it, the greater the extent of your pain and problems. If you cannot allow yourself to flow freely with the cosmic stream in the deepest level of your being, you must distort the cosmic stream within you. Since you oppose and distrust the cosmic force, and since the cosmic force manifests within yourself, you do not trust yourself. But if you are to trust yourself and your own innermost nature, you must first trust the pull toward unity. Therefore, when you separate nature from the divine principle, or your own innermost nature from spiritual trust, you're engaged in the greatest error, leading to the greatest of confusions. For how could nature, including the depth of your own nature, be opposed to the divine evolutionary plan? The divine evolutionary plan. So there's always this evolution that's happening. There's a plan and a purpose to all that is under the sun. And it is for you, not against you. And when we really start to believe that, like even when we're in the face of discord and stress, in there are those are where the secrets lie. Those are where the codes lie for the next phase. Something is being grown within your being. There's something great for you to be showing up for next. And so staying in this place where I was just saying, sometimes not doing anything is the most important thing you can do, is to sit with the feeling of things falling away, not avoiding it. Like it said, the biggest area you can do is oppose the transformation. Instead, flow with the transformation, and it will happen so much quicker, so much faster, because there's no opposing, there's no pushing up against this divine transformation that's happening within you. And this talk might not be for you. You might be listening to this talk for a friend of yours right now, right? We always have someone that this talk is for, because we're always in change, regardless of the seasons. But fall, we all tend to really love fall, and then we sort of start to dread the winter. It's like this, I love the snow and I love it, but I like a couple snowstorms. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for spring, We want to rush through those dark days of winter, and yet that's probably where the biggest growth comes from, because the things fall away in the fall, and then we're left with ourselves to meditate, be in the stillness, and to listen to our intuition, listen to the guidance. What is coming through for this next phase? And if we don't get in fear and we move in grace, it's a beautiful process. And it's a very enlightening and God-creating experience. Trust your inner guidance and follow your heart. For your soul has your blueprint, and the universe has your back. Trust your inner guidance and follow your heart, for your soul has your blueprint, and the universe has your back. I think that comforts me even more than the Bible quote did, right? The universe has our back. And when we trust that, when we build faith in that, then we move into maybe a life that we couldn't have even dreamed of for ourselves, right? We things for ourselves, and we wonder why it's not happening, and it might be because we're being too controlling about it, because the universe has even something greater in store for you. So if you keep hitting at a door that's shut, and you keep hitting at the door and you shut, and you're getting discouraged because you're wondering why is it shut, it's time to pivot. It's time to flow and find where the door is open. One of the many things we do to keep ourselves busy when we're feeling that sense of things falling away for our good to come is to stay really distracted and do a lot of multitasking, like cleaning the house and getting organized and washing cars. Like, what can I do to keep for myself? Because I don't want to be with myself, because being with myself is scary. But to be able to stop the multitasking and learning how to root in this core root system of yourself. I had a dance class on Thursday with a teacher that I love, and she asked me how I was doing, and we're really good friends. And I said, I'm just feeling like I'm dealing with some anxiety. I don't really I can't really put my finger on exactly, but there's just kind of this low, sense of anxiety in me. And she just listened, and when she started the class, she said, Syntysche and I were sharing before the service, or it does feel like a service to me. It is my spiritual food, and she was talking about how, she goes, well, I'm not even talking about what she was talking about. The truth is that Syntysche and I were raised by women's libbers, by mothers that told us that we could do everything, and we had to do everything, and so we just busy ourselves so much to prove that we're women and we can do it all and we can overcome it all, and we can also stuff a smile on our face and all this stuff, and it was just shocking. She literally read, and I don't think we want to do it like our mothers, because they were just here, just putting fires out and creating and doing all those things. And it was amazing to witness, but they were stressed. And Syntysche and I, we want to be rooted. We want to be with our source and focus so completely on something and finish it well. And when I'm ready, I go to the next thing, and I focus so completely on it, and I finish it well. There's nobody to prove it to, but for our mothers, there was someone to prove it to, right? It was important for women to have equality, and what they did to precede us was incredible. And I'm grateful, and I say thank you for all of the women that preceded us that did that for us women to be able to be in a position like I'm in right now. But I'm not willing to keep up in that kind of stressed frizzy that I watched my poor mother go through to prove herself. Because God loves me. God loves me. God loves you. Like, let's just feel that. Just put your hands in your heart. God loves me. Just really feel that in your being. And if God loves me and that's birthed within myself, then I need to start loving me, accepting me for all the beauty that God has made me, and to enjoy the unfoldment of what wisdom and beauty and light is within me, and share it as I have to give in a healthy way. Brandi Carlile has this great line in one of her songs that says, "You can dance in a hurricane, but only if you are standing in the eye." You can dance in a hurricane, but only if you are standing in the eye. So that statement lends us to believe that we must get anchored and rooted in our being first, anchored into deep connection with our souls before proceeding with what is truly calling our attention to move towards first. I didn't say next, what to move towards first, so it can get our full attention. And when you achieve that, and then find out what's second and third, instead of lining up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 and just doing it all, that's not a way where we lead into a Christ-conscious life or a high-frequencied energy life. That's just a whirlwind, and that's just filled with distraction. And you may accomplish it, but you will be aged and exhausted. To really be with your child, like I have 3 children, to be with each one and not just take them up as the whole bundle. To take that time, my daughter's right now in Nice, France, my oldest. She's always traveling. She has a very blessed life that way. And when she calls, it's always when I've just started making dinner or the tasks of something. I finally have gotten something finished, and she calls at that time. And I'll get this kind of like, this timing, it's like, and I always hear my mother saying to me, "You are so lucky that your children want to hang out with you all the time. They love talking with you." Like that's, like you should feel so blessed by that. But you don't realize how many 3 kids are when they're adult-speaking people. They need a lot of love and cultivation, but whenever I just hear her say that, it's like, yes, my daughter's alive and well and living well. I always get off those phone calls filled with my glass overflowing because she gives so much to my life as well, right? So not being scattered and flung around by all the demands, because that is not holy. This is a state of being cut off from the divine connection that we usually start with in our meditation in the morning. How do we hold on to that heightened frequency that guides and directs every aspect of our life? And that's staying rooted. Walking on the earth when you're feeling busied and frazzled, take your shoes off and walk outside. Watch how the vibration of the earth literally pulls all that stress off of your body, and all of a sudden, you'll be listening from your heart instead of the intellect that is trying to talk you into a life of no peace. Quit checking your Facebook all the time. Turn the phone off for a period of time at some point. Avoid the TV as much as you can, unless the shows really do, lift you. So I wrote this talk this week because I was feeling pinched off from my good. I was feeling overwhelmed, and the pressures were getting to me, right? And when I'm in that state, I realized it was kind of growing like this for a few weeks. So it's like when I notice, it takes a while to come back into my balance, because I was believing that I was the only one that could fulfill all of these holes in my presence. So I read this passage in the book that we're doing the women's book group on, that Elizabeth Lesser wrote. And for me to not share all the stuff that's going on in my life, I'm going to share what's happening in her life, but it's very similar to what I was facing when I read this part. Today, like every other day, we wake up empty. This is a Rumi statement. Today, like every other day, we wake up empty and frightened. Don't open the door. Don't open the door to the study and begin reading. Take down the dulcimer. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kiss the ground. And Elizabeth writes this. Last night, at the end of a long week of late nights, I went to bed at 2 a.m., then tossed about like a small boat on a choppy sea. My sons and their girlfriends were visiting from their far-flung homes, and though my heart was full of love, my mind was awash with worry. Outside, the warm October weather changed as the night wore on. Rain blew in on a cold wind. In the darkness, the first yellow leaves fell before their time. Middle of the night, despair pooled in my little boat like water from a slow leak. I couldn't stop the forlorn flow. I marveled helplessly at how my children were growing older and taking their tenuous place on life's stage. Sorry. They seemed so young and unprepared, and the world so fast and impersonal. I held each son in my mind's eye and allowed worst-case scenarios to run amok. Despair is a non-discriminating fellow. When he throws a late-night party, he invites in every hopeless situation that troubles the mind. When I was done despairing about my kids, I thought about how my body was changing and not for the better. Then I moved on and worried about the repetitive lunacy of war as our country entered into yet another one. Nothing is stable, I thought, floating in my bed, listening to the rain. I brooded over my work, my teaching, and my writing. Do I know anything at all worth sharing? Anything with the power to fill the hole in my boat and to keep it from sinking? Finally, despair grew bored and left the party. I drifted into a foggy sleep. So we have to find the way that we take down the dulcimer when we're facing life, right? I'm at this chapter of, I've been a mom for 25 years and I have 3 years left. Like, I feel this time clock going off, and it's not always empowering to me. Sometimes it's kind of disempowering to me. So the way I personally take down the dulcimer is being close to the earth as possible, or dancing or meditating. But the way you might take down the dulcimer may be different. Driving fast with the radio blaring, helping a friend, whacking a tennis ball, stirring a soup pot. There are hundreds of ways for each of us to counter despair with an act that connects us to our most essential, simple self. This is how we let the beauty we love be what we do. This is how we let the beauty we love be what we do. And there are hundreds of ways to kiss the ground, which is our way of being gratitude, like in gratitude for all of it, for all of the blessings of it. So Spirit wants us to know that we need to just rest. Rest in Spirit. It's that simple. And if you don't got it to go forward with something, rest a little more until the clues start to come of what is next, and until you're sure and it resonates in your heart. And you'll usually know, because when you rest in Spirit and you know it's next, it feels really good. And usually there are tears, because there's a sense and a knowing the Spirit is holding you holding you and blessing you and leading you in these times of change for the greatest life ever. It's only us that stays in limitation and worry and fear and burden. When we surrender and let go and let God, as Marcy was singing today, in Angnyoho Orenge Kyo, visualize the areas that might be bringing discord to your life and repeating that affirmation. It's a doorway to the opening of overcoming and healing any stress. And remember to rest in spirit. Intuition is our inner voice. We all have it. Learning to listen, develop, and follow our intuition gives us a greater advantage in the whirlwind of life. It's the ally that has our back. It's as natural to us as breathing. But unfortunately for so many, it has been suppressed as we've grown to become such rational, right-brained beings. We've allowed the noise of the world to move us away from our intuition, moving us ever further away from our inner guidance. And again, Spirit just says, rest. And know that I am with you, guiding you and directing you. And we give thanks for this in the name and the power of the living Christ within each and every one of us. Thank you.
We will take an offering for unity now. As we're preparing to do that, we should just reflect upon the truths that are being shared here through Syntysche. Such beautiful truths, because it causes us to pause in our everyday lives to realize we are divine beings going through a human experience, and we are learning how to do that more and more effectively. And so we should really appreciate getting this information that we get here at Unity of Boulder. And if you truly appreciate, I'm speaking to all of you that are watching the live stream, you might consider supporting Unity of Boulder by making a tithe or by signing up for a regular contribution that you can do by calling the office. And that would help us out even more, because it gives us the opportunity to budget our finances if we know we have this much money coming in to count on, and then we can operate a little more effectively ourselves. So as we bring to mind now that financial gift we want to make to Unity of Boulder, let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And we have Marcy to share her beautiful music with us once again.
I honestly have no idea how to make this transition into this next song.
I don't
because
either.
All I want to do is rest in the spirit. So what do we do if the song is like a fun, rousing number? How do we do that, you guys? Do you have any ideas?
We just jump in. We just jump in it.
Let's take that rest, and without leaving it, let the life that flows through it, that is joy, that is passion, that is what falls away, and as we're with ourselves, the thing that comes and sustains us through the cold, through the winter, the radiance, everything that we've sown, everything that we've reaped, what happens now as we go through this next season? Oh, I'm excited. Okay, here we go. All right. Woo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our time together. Can you feel the Spirit moving? This is our time together. Can you feel the Spirit moving? This is our time together. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world in love. Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world. Open your heart and let it flow. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Open your heart and let it flow. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Open your heart and let it flow. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world in love. Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world. Singing in rhythm and harmony. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Singing in rhythm and harmony. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Singing in rhythm and harmony. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world in love. Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world. Now sing with me.
Intuition is your inner voice. We all have it. Learn to listen to it. Develop and follow. Intuition gives us that advantage. Because you already know what you need. Now give it to God and it will be given back to you.
And again.
Open your heart energy.
Stand up, y'all.
Remember what you love and let that lead you to where you're supposed to be. Look around you and discover the power within you. Discover what pleases you and brings peace to you, and let the whole world unfold for you. Moving, 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 moving,
Living out loud, let me hear you shout. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Sing along. Living out loud, let me hear you shout. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Living out loud, let me hear you shout. Can you feel the Spirit moving? Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world in love. Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world. Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world in love. Moving in me, moving in you, moving this world. Moving, 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 moving. We'll be moving this, all of us, moving this, nam your engekyo, nam your engekyo, moving this world.
praise God. All right. And this amazing woman too. Oh my goodness. So we have the Halloween party today. and the amazing band. So there will be a discussion group being held right after the service at the back of the sanctuary. Well, actually about 10 minutes after you grab some food, and then have a seat and chat about this talk today if you want. And then we have our big Halloween party. We've been working on this for weeks. It's incredible. So make sure any friends you have, they don't have to go to the center, just bring your kids. It's such a fun, exciting moment. We're gonna run out of here and then come back and party with the kids all night. So we're excited about it. So make sure you bring your kids. Let's all rise.
Wait.
Yeah.
There's a special handout you received today, but I have to remind you that on November 13th at 11 o'clock, there'll only be one service on November 13th. That's in deference to the book signing that I'll be doing following that in Fellowship Hall. So you have a handout for that, but I just want you to know there's only one service on November 13th. That'll be at 11 o'clock. I'll be speaking about this main theme in my book. All right.
All right, let's close with our closing song. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Now it's your turn. Nice. Gorgeous singing. No more struggle, no more strife. It's my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Woo! Beautiful singing.
All right, those of you who want to meet in the group in the back, you can go and get some tea and some treats in our fellowship hall, and we'll see you in the back for a discussion.
Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, thank you, Marcy.